Welcome back. If any of you are having a bad chess day, maybe this video will make you feel better. I played 2 rapid games for a total of 29 moves and 7 combined mistakes and blunders. So hopefully this video will take fewer minutes than I spent playing those 2 games. Here in this position I had a very slight advantage if only I would have played I can't draw arrows today. C4. I would have even had a slight advantage if I had played c3, but instead I played b4. Not only can they just take it, but it allows the knight to infiltrate here. And surprisingly, my opponent did neither of those things, just ran away from that unprotected pawn. Well then, instead of following that up with c4, which is still my best move, I made another blunder. That's right. And not only does that still allow this unprotected pawn to be taken, but it allows the knight to come in here. My opponent took the pawn, which it counts as a mistake because they didn't do the best move. But that's okay, because I followed that with another blunder right there, which that allows the knight in here to get my rook. And instead of making any of the best moves in this situation, well, I mean, this was one of the top 3 moves, right? Wasn't it? No, it wasn't one of the top 3 moves. It was worse. And the reason that's bad is because it allows this fork, which my opponent saw. And here, I only have one good move, and I did not make that move. I made the worst possible move, which is that. I'm not sure why that's not counted as a blunder, because it gives away my bishop and my queen. And that's what my opponent did. And I'd had enough, so I resigned that game. Now, here's the position reached after 6 moves in the second game, in which my opponent's trying to chase off my bishop, and all I have to do is move it back to a very safe spot. But in the heat of the moment, I moved it here, which allows the bishop to be trapped by moving this pawn forward. At that point, I think the best I could do would be to move my bishop here, and then the knight would get it, right? Okay. Fortunately, my opponent didn't see that and just played that, which is a blunder of their own. But I helped them out with my blunder, and they took that pawn, and I took their pawn. And they didn't play the best move here, but that's okay, because I followed that with a mistake. And the reason that's a mistake is because the knight gets to come in here now. So now there's all kinds of pressure coming in this, but what I didn't see is this pawn right here is what's being hit. Yeah, so I didn't know what to do. I probably should have, I mean, if I had thought for a second, I think I would have castled, but instead I did that, which allows this infiltration. So, and it looks like, what? I mean, just move your king, right? But they're going to get my bishop for free. And my king, I'm going to have lost castling rights. I'm going to have lost one of my protective pawns around my king. So I ended that game too. So I spent 3.5 minutes on those 2 games, and it looks like I've spent slightly longer telling about them. Hopefully you're having better luck, but if not, just know that a bunch of the rest of us are struggling too. Thanks for watching.